The truck fire that exposed a chilling crime. Highway patrol officers received a report about a black Dodge pickup truck seen burning along the highway. The call came in from a passerby who noticed heavy smoke rising from the side of the road. As soon as the information reached the control center, they quickly alerted the nearest fire brigade and dispatched them to the exact location. Within minutes, fire trucks arrived on the scene. The firefighters worked efficiently to extinguish the flames that had engulfed the vehicle. After several minutes of effort, they managed to bring the fire under control. Once the fire was out, officials began inspecting the truck to determine the cause of the blaze. Shortly afterward, the police arrived and secured the area for investigation. Witnesses nearby were questioned, and the authorities started collecting evidence to find out whether the fire was accidental or intentional. The entire scene drew attention from people passing by, many of whom stopped and asked what had happened. Thankfully, no one was reported injured, but the truck was completely destroyed in the fire. And now, when the police arrived at the scene, they immediately began their investigation. They examined the burned truck carefully, trying to understand how such a fire could have started on the highway. They inspected the entire area around it, but found nothing unusual nearby that could have caused the blaze. The next step for the officers was to identify who the truck belonged to using the number plate. They pulled up the registration details and tried calling the listed contact number, but no one answered the call. What the police didn't realize at that moment was that this burning truck was only the beginning of something much bigger. The fire itself wasn't the real mystery. The truth that would soon unfold was far more shocking. So let's begin today's story. We'll find out who the owner of that truck really was, what happened to them, and what the police discovered that made them intensify the investigation, turning this ordinary fire case into one of the most puzzling and talked about incidents in recent times. If you want to know what really happened, stay with this story till the very end. When the police found the truck, they traced its registration number from the license plate. After retrieving the registration details, they had the complete information in front of them. According to the records, the truck was registered under the name Amandeep. The police then tried calling the phone number listed at his residence, but no one answered the call. So they continued their investigation and conducted a few tests. Later, they went to the exact location where the truck had been parked before it caught fire to gather more clues. The officers checked all the CCTV cameras installed around the truck yard, but when they reviewed the footage, what they saw left them completely shocked. The police then watched the system camera footage and saw a man brandishing a gun abduct Amandeep Singh and members of his family. Amandeep lived with his brother Jasdeep, Jasdeep's wife, and their baby daughter who was only 8 months old. Her name was Aruhi. The man kidnapped them right from their home. When the officers reviewed that footage, they were stunned. Now they had to mount a rescue operation. They needed to find where the family had been taken and who was behind the kidnapping. The police no longer only had to figure out how the truck had caught fire, they also had to determine whether Amandeep's family was safe and who had taken them. First, let's look at where Amandeep Singh came from. Amandeep was 39 years old and originally from Punjab, India. He had moved to California from Punjab, Jasdeep, who was 36 years old. Both brothers lived in California. Amandeep lived there with his wife and children, while his younger brother Jasdeep also lived with his wife Jocelyn and their little daughter. Both brothers lived together and their whole family stayed in the same house, like a joint family. Amandeep had been living in California for about 18 years. 2 years after he moved there, his younger brother Jasdeep Singh came and joined him. Jasdeep got married in 2019, and about a year later, his wife also came to California to live with him. Both brothers, Jasdeep and Amandeep, worked very hard during their early years in America. When they first arrived, they struggled and put in a lot of effort to build a stable life. Gradually, as things started improving and they became more settled, they decided to start their own trucking business. To expand their business, they even bought a truck yard and began operating from there. It took them nearly 2 years of hard work and dedication to grow and establish their trucking company successfully. On October 3rd, 2022, Amandeep and Jasdeep left home together for work, just like they did every day. They always went to work together before heading to the office. Amandeep would usually drop his kids off at school. Normally, no other family member went with them early in the morning, but that day was different. Jasdeep's wife, Jocelyn, had a doctor's appointment for their baby daughter, So Jasleen told Jasdeep that she would go with him that morning as well. After Jasleen said that, Jasdeep, along with Jasleen, their 8-month-old daughter Aruhi, all went to the office together. When the police later learned about all these details, they began carefully reviewing the situation. They started checking the surrounding streets and nearby areas for any possible clues. The police pulled up all the CCTV footage from around the location and began going through it frame by frame. They focused on the footage from the exact day the four of them went to the office. Starting from the very beginning, they saw that Amandeep Singh arrived in his car, and with him in the vehicle was also their family dog, the one they kept at home. Amandeep Singh arrived at the office first, along with his wife and daughter. Amandeep Singh, after dropping his children at school, arrived about 8 minutes later in the same truck that would later catch fire. As the police reviewed the CCTV footage, they noticed something unusual. Shortly after Amandeep arrived, a man appeared nearby, moving suspiciously. At that moment, Jasdeep came out of his office workroom. He seemed to notice the man and reacted quickly. Perhaps he realized someone was there who shouldn't be, and he immediately grew suspicious of him. The man was first seen walking along the back wall of the yard, almost like he was sneaking around. After a short while, he moved toward the front fence of the yard. A man, Deep and Jasdeep's dog, began barking repeatedly at the man, alerting everyone to his presence. After some time, the man entered the yard. Seeing this, Jasdeep came out of his office and approached him to ask what he wanted since the man was a stranger. Up until now, the man had been wandering around the area near their yard for no apparent reason, but now he was actually entering their property. Jasdeep spoke to the man for a while, and then the man followed him near the office. As Jasdeep was walking toward his office, the man continued to follow him. The man was wearing a mask and a hood, which at the time didn't seem unusual because many people were wearing masks due to safety regulations in COVID-19. Since it was common for everyone around to be masked, Jasdeep didn't find it strange that this man had his face covered. Once this came to light, the police understood the motive behind the crime. The man had acted out of revenge. He wanted to take revenge on Amandeep and Jasdeep, which is why he killed them along with their family members. Further investigation revealed that this man had committed similar crimes before. Back in 2005, he had worked at a trucking company. After being fired, he got into an argument with the owner and later went to the owner's home where he held the family at gunpoint. He then forced them into a swimming pool and looted the property. Fortunately, no one was killed in that incident, which is why he was sentenced to only 8 years in prison. On October 6th, the man regained consciousness in the hospital and the police formally arrested him. He immediately admitted to killing the family members. He also revealed that his brother Alberto had assisted him. The police then arrested Alberto as well and discovered that Alberto had helped during the crime, mainly by assisting in covering up evidence. After the murders, both men were arrested and now legal proceedings began. Jesus Manuel, his brother, was arrested because he had tried to destroy evidence. He would receive punishment for that alone. As for the main perpetrator, he would face charges not only for kidnapping the 4 family members but also for their murders. He was to receive the maximum sentence, life imprisonment or the death penalty. In California, the death penalty is still imposed for extremely serious cases, though it had been suspended for some time. However, in cases involving multiple serious crimes with many people involved, the death penalty can still be applied. The judge sentenced Alberto, the brother, to 3 years and 8 months in prison. Alberto had not participated in the murders and was not present when they occurred. He had only been involved in this case when his brother set the truck on fire, and he helped manage the aftermath, such as handling security footage that had been damaged. As of now, the main case is still ongoing, and the final sentence for Jesus Manuel has not yet been issued. Since this was a very complex case, it may take a long time before the final judgment is delivered. If you enjoy this video, don't forget like and subscribe and more video like this. Thanks for watching.